Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, amid Salah celebrations, Nigerians ponder on incoming government as Kano stages famous Durbar. Nigerian army kills 35 terrorists, destroys 12 camps in Sambisa forest. Meningitis kills 118 in 22 states. And on the foreign scene, 2 earthquakes strike Kepulauan Batu, Indonesia. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the news in details. This year's Eid al-Fitr marks the end of religious festivities to be witnessed by the Muhammadu Buhari administration after its 8 years stewardship. In this report, Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman asked a cross-section of Nigerians if their expectations were met and what they hope will be done by the new administration. The report.
What has a beginning must surely has an end. So it is with the Buhari administration, which governed Nigerians for about 8 years now. As it observes its last Salah celebration in Aso Rock Villa, Nigerians speak on their expectations and dashed hopes.
Personally, I'm not somebody who is into politics that much. But generally, I would say the administrations, I think they did well, especially in terms of infrastructures, like the roads they built, like the new ultra markets that they built. I'll give them applause.
This administration, I would say, needs to allow a lot of young people to heal so that they can give out their best of their potential to the incoming administration.
I will rate Buhari's performance for the past 8 years as excellent for so many reasons. In terms of projects in particular, he has performed beyond expectation in terms of projects. In terms of social investment too, he has performed beyond expectation because it has been unprecedented.
Really, there are a lot of mistakes that the new administration will maybe take a step for changes. For example, this fuels problem, insecurity. There are a lot of problems really that the president will tackle. We hope the president will tackle those problems.
I had high hopes, but to be honest, I'm not so satisfied with the what the administration. Honestly, I'm not just too happy about most of the policies, most of the things that we saw, because things were really kind of tough, especially on the masses.
While they look into the future of Nigeria with the incoming administration of Bola Tinubu, Nigerians are divided over its ability to change the narratives.
There is one fundamental misconception Nigerians have. When Buhari came, they thought that all our problems will disappear overnight. It is not possible. It is not done anywhere. It is unrealistic. So, the story has been the same all over. You understand? Now, when Tinubu comes, we should not expect that things will change overnight. It doesn't happen like that anywhere in the world. And therefore, it cannot happen in Nigeria for the first time.
Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa and 6th largest oil-producing nation in the world, blessed with numerous solid mineral potentials and populated by over 200 million people. But its citizens say the country is yearning for an inspiring leadership that will guarantee the nation's accelerated development. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Army troops of the 21 Armored Brigade Bama Operation Hadin K and 199 Special Forces Battalion, in collaboration with Civilian Joint Task Force, have killed 35 Boko Haram terrorists in the ongoing clearance operations in Sambisa Forest. The troops, headed by 1 Brigadier General Victor Unachuku, aka Emperor, made the unprecedented incursions into the Boko Haram hideouts in its determined efforts to completely eliminate the Boko Haram terrorist insurgents hibernating along the fringes of the Sambisa forest. This was disclosed by a reliable source on Sunday, which was also confirmed by Zagazola Makama, a counterinsurgency expert and security analyst in the Lake Chad region. Sources reveal that the clearance operation, which began from Aulari on April 17, progressed further into other identified insurgents camps around Garno and Alafa, neighboring communities of Sambisa Forest Axis in Bama local government area of Borno State. He said that the troops further stormed and cleared Iza and Farisu on April 19, where the troops ferociously engaged dozens of the resisting terrorists in a heavy gun battle. The troops overpowered the terrorists after about 30 minutes of gun battle, killing 18 of them and recovered several motorcycles, AK-47 rifles and an anti-aircraft gun. According to Makama, one member of the Civilian Joint Task Force unfortunately paid the supreme price during the encounter. Zamfara State government has reinstated the suspended Emir of Birnin Endoto, Aliyu Garba Marafa, based on the recommendations of a committee that investigated his conferment of a traditional title to a repentant bandit. A statement signed by the secretary to the Zamfara State government, Kabiru Balarabe, said the committee found no evidence of any ill motive or collaboration between the Emir and the bandit. The statement added that the findings of the committee revealed that the traditional title was conferred on the repentant bandit as part of peace-building efforts between the repentant bandits and banditry-affected communities in Safi and Gusau local government areas, which included Endoto town. Now, the unprofessionalism of developers have been identified as some of the factors responsible for frequent building collapse. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made this observation during inspection of a collapsed 7-story building and other infrastructure around the highbrow Banana Island. Trust TV reports.
While speaking at the site of the collapsed 7-story building, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu blamed the unfortunate incident on the irresponsibility of the developers and some of the citizens that just wanted to make quick money. Sanwo-Olu also blamed the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and National Inland Waterways Authority for allegedly granting extension of the line of Banana Island. According to him, the incident shows that the Lagos State building officers are not alive to their responsibilities, and officers found culpable will be sanctioned.
The excuses have been given that they don't have access and rest. It's not acceptable. This is a total recklessness of all of the developers, and we will make a strong point out of this place and all around Banana and other developments that we have. And the officers that we also found culpable will similarly be sanctioned.
The governor, who was accompanied by state officials, include Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Mr. Tayo Bamgbuse Martins, Special Advisor on Works and Infrastructure, Mrs. Araminde Adeyoye, and Special Advisor on Special Duty, Mr. Mobolaji Ogunlandi, also ordered the demolition of the 3 two-story buildings in the area. At 310 close, he ordered the demolition of 2-story building because it was illegal structure without approval. Also at 306 close, the governor ordered the removal of 2-story building adjacent to each other because they were constructed under the pipeline and underwater. He also said that an external 7-member committee had been set up with 2 weeks' mandate to independently ascertain what had gone wrong and come up with a robust plan that could be enforced going forward.
Right now, we set up a small external committee, a 7-man committee, who we've given them 2 weeks to independently also ascertain, what has gone wrong here. And so they should finish their work by maybe towards the end of next week or thereafter. And so this will also further strengthen our hand, to be able to come up with a robust, work plan that we can, enforce going forward.
Lagosians are hopeful that the state government can enforce proper regulation to curtail the frequent building collapse in the state. According to the Building Collapse Prevention Guide in Nigeria, Lagos State has recorded 115 buildings in the last 10 years.
Meanwhile, a three-story building under construction has collapsed in Ladipo, Oluwole Street, Apapa area of Lagos State. The Lagos State government on Sunday said that a three-floor building under construction that partially collapsed on Ladipo, Oluwole Street, Apapa, ignored the stop work and seal-up orders of the Lagos State Building Control Agency. The collapse incident, which was flagged on the Physical Planning Incident Management Platform on Sunday evening, triggered immediate preliminary inquiries that showed that officers of the state's Building Control Agency had issued a number of contravention notices, stop work and seal-up orders, which the developer ignored and carried on construction without any recourse whatsoever to the authorities. There was no casualty reported in the incident. Lagos State government has immediately activated inquiries into the collapse to unravel the minute details and guide appropriate actions. The National Emergency Management Agency has disclosed that there was no death recorded following the sudden collapse of a building at Songo Police Barracks in Ibadan on Saturday evening. The Southwest Zonal Director of NEMA, Akyode Akonde, gave the update during an interview with newsmen on Sunday. According to Akyode, the building, which is one of the oldest abandoned structures within the barracks, had showed signs of collapse as it had cracked in many areas. He said that before the part of the building eventually went down, the occupants had evacuated themselves, as such helped to forestall what would have been a disaster. The NEMA boss said that the part that collapsed was used as a kitchen and not occupied as residential. However, he said that rescue effort was able to recover 3 vehicles and 2 motorcycles, which were completely damaged from under the rubble. Now to political stories. The All Progressives Congress has dissolved its Presidential Campaign Council, inaugurated in 2022 to prosecute the 2023 presidential ambition of Bola Tinubu. The dissolution was contained in a statement on Saturday night, jointly signed by the Director General of the APC-PCC, Governor Simon Bako Lalong, and the Secretary of the Council, James Abiodun Faleke. The party, on behalf of the Chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council, President Muhammadu Buhari, the President-elect Bola Tinubu, and other leaders, thanked all council members, leaders, and supporters for working assiduously for the resounding victory of the President-elect Bola Tinubu. Muslim faithful in northern Nigerian city of Kano look forward to the end of Ramadan because the celebrations are capped by an opportunity to showcase their culture and tradition with a colorful festival, the Durbar. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin attended this year's Durbar festival in Kano and now reports.
A dance in memory of ancient times. Hundreds of years before Islam and the British arrived to Nigeria, the sons and daughters of Kano are gathered to honor the arrival of their emir. An elaborate procession marking the end of Ramadan. It's called Hawan Daushe, a traditional horse riding in Kano, relentless in motion, splendid in color, and breathtaking horsemanship.
The event is going to be a joyous, happy occasion, and we have plenty of them where I come from also. So we have, which also bring out the culture of our country as well. I think it's a great promotion for countries and states around the world to put out their word about what they do and how they do it.
It's a historical event, very important in the culture of Hausa and for the people of the northern Nigeria, particularly Kano State. Very, very important because it's a place where a lot of people can come together to celebrate and to watch the Hawan Daushe, that's the Durbar, horse men displaying cultural and horse expertise.
Hundreds and thousands of Kano residents turned out as Emir Amina Ado Bayero marched out his troops to the streets in celebration of Kanu's tradition and culture's best.
We are here with the horse riders and the emir. They will come, and each of the traditional rulers, that is the hakimis, who are the district heads, will come and pay homage, riding the horses to the emir. Well, traditionally this is it, and it is something that will entertain the people and make the Salah a festive one.
Hawan Daushe Doba is not only about marking the end of Ramadan, but also to remind the people on the importance of maintaining their centuries-old culture and tradition. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kanu.
As Muslims observe Eid in Nigeria on Friday, some clerics in Lagos urged Muslims to put into practice what they have learned during the month of Ramadan. Now, the clerics are asking the faithful to extend good gestures beyond Ramadan to enable them fully reap the benefits of the Ramadan fast.
Eid al-Fitr is the earlier of the two official holidays celebrated within Islam, and it is celebrated by Muslims worldwide as it marks the month-long down to sunset fasting of Ramadan. Eid prayer was mostly observed on Friday morning in many parts of Lagos, where Muslim faithfuls observed the prayer around 9:30 to 10 a.m. Imam Ibrahim Suleiman, who led the prayer at 1004 mosques, urged Muslims to put in practice what they have learned in the month of Ramadan.
But Ramadan was made to clean you and clear you and put you in the right position. The most important exercise is for you to exercise the life of the common man, the life of the poor man, which he lives every day throughout the year. He's in the hunger. He's facing so much excessive hunger, but you just practice it in only the month of Ramadan. At least that should be, or should tell you, what the common man is passing through. So the feeding that people do in the month of Ramadan should continue.
He also emphasized the significance of the Eid, adding that it is part of the tradition of helping the needy and celebrating with family and friends.
Alhamdulillah, the significance of Salah is to mark the end of this Ramadan. You know, the Ramadan is a long exercise of 1 month with so much different experiences, fasting, Qiyamul Layl, standing at night, feeding others, so much exercise in the month of Ramadan. So at the end of Ramadan, Ramadan is going, at least we have to gather this and see this joy, happy to one another, and then congratulate also one another for making Ramadan successful.
Muslim faithful who performed the Eid in colorful attires were full of excitement despite the current hardship in the country.
One of the important celebration in Islam, so I think it's very significant.
It's a pleasure, you know, every Muslim is very happy to pass through the Ramadan, you know, God be the glory. And then we are very, very happy to see that we came together as a Muslim. We performed the pilgrimage here in 1004 Central Mosques. The Muslims are always together, and they are one people. The presidential election have held, and by the grace of God, everything went successfully. And the winner, God have already declared him. The governors, God have already declared them. So what else do we want? God have already done everything for us. I think Nigeria is a peaceful nation. It's a blessed nation. At least we need to pray to God hard. We need to increase our prayers, increase our faith in God. God is always with us in this country. He is the largest black man nation in the world. So what do we want from God? That we know we have all the mineral resources, we have everything that is required. I don't know, even though we don't have any reason to face setback in this country.
With the fast over, Muslims were enjoined to continue with the good deeds and acts of charity to enable them extend the benefit of the month beyond Salah. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
You're watching the news on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at the stories coming ahead. Take a look at how teenagers make a living from discarded items. Details and more after the break.
That's great.
Morning Nigeria. Year after year, they have informed, educated, and entertained us. When you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
From generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcast media. They have served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.tnbawards.ng and follow our social media handles at TNB Awards.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Time to take a look at the top stories again. Amid Salah celebrations, Nigerians ponder on incoming government as Kano stages famous Durbar. Nigerian army kills 35 terrorists, destroys 12 camps in Sambisa forest. Now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention said that 118 persons have been killed in 22 states by cerebrospinal meningitis. This is according to the data from the October 2022 to April 2nd, 2023, released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The NCDC said a total of 628 suspected cases, including 118 deaths, were reported from 22 states. It gave the names of the affected states to include Abia, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Ebonyi, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, Oyo, Plateau, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara State. According to the report, 62% of the cases are male patients, while 38% are females. The NCDC said the National Multi-Sectoral Cerebrospinal Meningitis Technical Working Group will also continue to monitor response across states. Now, an auto accident in the ancient city of Katsina has claimed the life of one person, while 6 persons have been hospitalized as a result of the incident. The accident happened as a result of reckless driving by a Keke Napep rider on Hajj Camp roundabout. Abdullahi Amadi has the details.
Eyewitness accounts say that the accident was caused by the reckless attempt by a Keke rider to a sharp U-turn on the roundabout. The tricycle, which was conveying some Salah visitors, was hit by a moving vehicle. The driver, in a bid to avoid hitting the Keke rider, lost control of his vehicle, which then somersaulted and caused him to die on the spot. The other 3 occupants of the vehicle sustained various degrees of injuries and rushed to Katsina General Hospital for treatment. Similarly, the female occupants of the Keke were also taken to hospital. Okay. So, look at it, I just lost my friend. I'm one of the occupants of this vehicle. It is very unfortunate that the Keke rider has caused the life of this man, who is a prominent politician in Zango local government. In fact, he was the candidate of the State Assembly seat in the just concluded election under the PDP. He is Manzo Madaka. May his soul rest in perfect peace. The Keke riders are too rough and reckless in Katsina, and authorities are not doing anything about that. They have caused the lives of many innocent citizens like this one now, and for the fact that somebody has not done the right thing. Many Katsina residents decry reckless and rough driving by Keke riders, especially on major highways and in the ancient city of Katsina. Observers say the earlier relevant authorities check the excesses of the Keke riders, the better. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
In a similar vein, about 6 persons died on Sunday following an auto crash around the popular Kara Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. It was gathered that the incident happened in quick succession, from the bus somersaulting to it bursting into flames, leading to the fatalities. According to the witnesses, the death victims were the bus driver, 2 children and 3 women. The Lagos Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the accident. The Lagos Deputy Corps Commander, Lucas Oguntade, said that the rescue efforts were still ongoing, and he explained that while some casualties were recorded, some victims were rescued and have been taken to the hospital for medical attention. On the cause of the crash, he stated that the idea of speeding is from a layman's perspective. The official, however, explained that the Commission has begun a probe into the incident with a view to avoiding a reoccurrence soon. The police command in Lagos State says it has arrested a 41-year-old man, Tolulope Olowu, for allegedly stabbing a 33-year-old Pablo to death over car parking on their street. The command's spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed the incident to journalists on Sunday. Hundeyin said that the incident happened on Saturday at about 10 p.m. at First Unity Estate, Badore area of Ajah. He said that the case was reported to the Langbasa Police Division on Sunday at about 2 a.m. The spokesman said that the suspect and deceased are residents of Bademosi Street in the estate. Poverty and unemployment has been identified as the main problem confronting the implementation of the National Health Insurance Law in the country. Dr. Jide Oloyede, a senior manager at the National Health Insurance Agency, noted that for the scheme to be mandatory for all Nigerians, the government must tackle the menace of unemployment and poverty ravaging the country. He equally attributed poor implementation of the NHIS as responsible for the inability of the general public to make headway in achieving universal health coverage, which has resulted in a decline in the life expectancy of Nigerians. In the same vein, Director of Planning and Research of the Ekiti State Health Insurance Scheme, Mr. Ogunyemi Oyeyemi, explained that for the scheme to attain universal health coverage, there is need for government to redouble its efforts and focus more attention on the health sector. He said that the government at all levels will need to increase its annual budget to health sector and release more funds to the NHIS if the scheme is to achieve its purpose for the masses. The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria says no fewer than 21,000 nurses have been produced in the past 6 years in the country. Farouk Umar Abubakar, the Secretary General and the Registrar of the Council, revealed this in Abo during the inauguration of the collegiate system in Delta State Schools of Nursing by the State Governor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa. Abubakar noted that the domestication of the community nursing program in most states in the country had contributed immensely to producing adequate nursing and midwifery grassroots manpower for primary healthcare services. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa is of the opinion that Nigeria has capacity to export medical officers to needy nations if available potential were adequately harnessed and proper planning done. He explained that rather than contemplate restricting medical practitioners from moving out of the country, more of them could be trained. Okowa noted that what the federal government needed to do was sign bilateral agreements with foreign nations to train and export more of the professionals to these nations. The Delta State government has inaugurated the first batch of 45-man livestock management operatives to regulate open grazing in the state in line with the State Livestock Breeding, Rearing and Marketing Regulations Law 2012. Daily Trust reports that the livestock management operatives were inaugurated more than 16 months after the inauguration of the Delta State Livestock Management Committee by the State Governor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Dr. Godfrey Enita, who inaugurated the operatives, explained that their major role was surveillance and providing information on potential threats to farmer and herders issues to the local government, special task force and security agencies in their area. State Commandant Suleiman Jimo of NSCDC, who commended the state government for the program, gave assurances that the operatives were fully trained to assume their duties. Jimo, represented by the head of Department Critical National Assets Infrastructure, DCC, John Ozowara, said that members of the committee were ready to go into the field to do what is required of them by the state government. The operatives were fully trained on the rudiments of alternative dispute resolution for the state livestock operation management and peace resolution, which will guide their operations. Teenagers, mostly between the age of 10 and 17 in Jos, the capital of Plateau State, are making money through scavenging for discarded items. The teenagers, who often search for the waste items from nooks and crannies of the city, told Trust TV News, Ado Musa, that they sell the items to scrap buyers at their collection centers. Ado Musa reports.
The teenagers usually handpick the wasted items, mostly made from metal or rubber, and take them to scrap buyers, who then take them to various companies across the country for recycling into reusable material. According to the teenagers, they engage in the scavenging business in order to take care of themselves, pay school fees, and stand on their feet even before they become adults. I am in this business because it helps me to buy clothes, buy school materials, pay my school fees, and take care of other necessities. The business is indeed helpful to me. I am in this business because I want to help myself. I look for the wasted items at various places and bring them here to sell. So, I'm here now to sell what I have gathered. I started this business mainly to assist myself so that I won't be staying without doing anything. I just have to do it because what I earn assists me a lot. Asking how they combine school and the business, the scavengers have this to say. I am a student and always go to school. I go to school in the morning, and when I return home, I go out for the business. It doesn't prevent me from going to school. I have ample time for each engagement. I attend school every day. This business doesn't affect my school. I devote my time for whatever I'm doing. So, I go to school in the morning and do my business after school hours. With the success they have made in the business, the teenagers feel experienced enough to invite other young persons to also engage in business in order to be independent. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Time now to take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Now, the Conference of Northern State Civil Society Networks has stated that the reinstatement of Ifeanyi Ararume as the non-executive chairman of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited by an Abuja High Court will have negative consequences on Nigeria's oil sector. The coalition, in a statement on Sunday, expressed concern over the court judgment that voided all resolutions of the board from 2022 to date. The coalition is particularly disturbed that the ruling has systematically voided all the contracts and agreements reached since January 2022 between the corporations and its local and international partners. It added that some of the sensitive resolutions and decisions of the company may be severely affected, including oil exploration works, which already started in some states where oil was discovered, such as Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, and Nasarawa states. The federal government has set up a committee to work towards rescuing Nigerian citizens trapped in Sudan due to the current unrest in the North African country. This was disclosed in a statement by the National Emergency Management Agency signed by its head of press unit, Manzo Ezekiel. The latest assurance is coming after the federal government on Friday expressed worry over its inability to evacuate Nigerians in Sudan as a deadly crisis continues to plague the North African nation. The chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, had in a tweet post noted that the authorities were experiencing challenges, particularly with regards to airlifting Nigerian nationals out of the troubled country. But according to NEMA, the committee, which consists of professional emergency responders, search and rescue experts, will constantly evaluate the situation and seek for the safest way to evacuate the Nigerian citizens, even if it is through a country neighboring Sudan. The agency said it is in constant communication with all relevant partners, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Nigerian Embassy in Khartoum, Sudan, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, and security agencies, while seeking for an appropriate window of opportunity to evacuate all stranded Nigerians back into the country. Now, on the foreign scene, the deputy head of the Myanmar's military-appointed election commission has been shot dead in the country's commercial capital, Yangon, by rebels, the latest killing of a high-profile individual linked to the country's military rulers. Sai Kiao-tu, deputy director of the Union Election Commission, was killed in the township of the Tingyang-yung in eastern Yangon, the Army's information team said in a statement. Local media reported that he was shot multiple times in the chest, neck, and the head. The Army statement said that People's Defense Forces were responsible for the killing but did not give further details. The self-declared anti-coup People's Defense Forces, loosely organized armed wings of the country's shadow National Unity Government, have sprung up in opposition to the military, which seized power more than 2 years ago, leading to social unrest and an economic crisis in the country. The NUG was established by the democratically elected politicians who were removed from the office in the military coup. Now, as fighting rages on in Sudan, about 4,000 Nigerian students stranded in the capital city of Khartoum say that they are living in fear. News media report that hundreds of people have been killed since the fighting broke out Saturday last week in Sudan's capital between the forces loyal to Sudan's army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his deputy Mohamed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the paramilitary rapid support forces. The Nigerian students told the BBC that they are waiting for the Nigerian government to evacuate them. One of the students, Fuzia Idris Safiu, claimed that many countries have started evacuation of their nationals, but there seems to be no plan for the evacuation of Nigerians in the East African country. Speaking about the difficult situation they live in, Muhammad Noura Bello president of the Nigerian Students of Sudan International University, said that there is total blackout and even the Sudanese are also fleeing. This is coming just as the Nigerian government Thursday said it is still consulting on the next line of action regarding evacuation of Nigerians in Sudan. Now, Kenyan police have exhumed human remains from more than a dozen suspected graves in the east of the country amid an investigation into followers of a Christian cult who believe that they will go to heaven if they starved themselves to death. Police began exhuming bodies in the town of Malindi near the Shakahola forest in Kilifi County, where police rescued 15 members of the Good News International Church last week, according to footage broadcast by Citizen TV. 21 bodies have been found so far. The leader of the church, Paul Mackenzie, also identified in reports as Paul Ntenge. Mackenzie was arrested by police, and he said that the police said that the 15 rescued worshippers had been told to starve themselves to death so that they could meet their creator. 4 of them died before they reached hospital. Still on the foreign scene, 2 earthquakes measuring nearly magnitude 6 struck Kepulauan Batu, Indonesia in the morning hours on Sunday, according to the European Mediterranean Seismological Center. The first earthquake, pegged by the EMSC at the magnitude 6.1, struck Kepulauan Batu early Sunday, followed by another 5.8 magnitude quake just hours later. The first earthquake was at a depth of 43 kilometers, while the second was at 40 kilometers. And now to sports news. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has announced the closure of the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos State, due to the collapse of a floodlight mast. Dare made this known in a statement after inspecting the collapsed floodlight mast. The minister had paid a scheduled visit to the stadium on Friday, promising to make his stand known after due assessment. However, after the tour round the stadium, the minister ordered the temporary closure of the stadium to avert any unforeseen circumstances. The minister added that the decision to impose extensive restrictions around the stadium was to be on the side of caution. Dare then requested the understanding of Nigerians who the decision may inconvenience. We'll now take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again. Welcome back for that break. Now, still staying with sports news, the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Brooklyn Nets 96-88 to complete a 4-0 series sweep in the NBA playoffs. Missing star center Joel Embiid, the 76ers produced an impressive second-half performance to set up a meeting with either Boston or Atlanta in the Eastern Conference semi-finals. Embiid, a finalist for the Most Valuable Player award, suffered a right knee sprain in Thursday's Game 3. Harris, who led the scoring for Philadelphia with 25 points and 12 rebounds, added he's the MVP. And when we heard he wasn't playing, I think it was an opportunity for everybody else to really step up and understand we've got to get a win without the big fella, quote and unquote. The Six Years trailed by 11 points early in the third quarter, but an 18-4 run saw them take the lead, and they closed the game out in the fourth quarter, with D'Anthony Melton coming off the bench to produce 15 points. Paul Reed finished with 10 points and 15 rebounds. The 4-0 series victory was Philadelphia's first playoff sweep since 1991. Let's now take a look at some more updates with Adeni Adishafe.
Nigeria's third-tier football league, the Nationwide League One, has been described as a grassroots football league in Nigeria. Recent upgrades have resulted in the official transformation of the Nationwide League Two into an age-grade competition aimed at giving footballers who are under 19 the opportunity to showcase their talent. At a media briefing in Kano ahead of the league kickoff on the 3rd of May, the NLO Secretariat confirmed that new innovations in players' identity verification will be employed to upgrade the league to a digitized one in line with world standards. NLO Northwest Zone Coordinator Aliyu Kazim said the NLO is going global to develop Nigerian football and to showcase to the world talents in Nigeria.
The league is purely for the youths, because if you are above 19, you are not supposed to participate in that league. And with what NLO is having now, we have the NLO TV, we stream the matches and all other things about how to showcase our players' talent, that is the youths. I believe all those watching the league outside the country and inside the country will see the talents they need. And surely most of our young talents will have opportunity to showcase their talents within and outside the country.
Nationwide League One media officer Abdulgafar Oladimiji explained that the data of players can easily be checked online, while NLO is being transformed to be a global accessible league despite being rooted in the grassroots development.
What is going to further make it different this time around is the innovations by the Secretariat, being able to digitalize the whole league process. Like the licensing is now digital. If you go to the website of the NLO, you will see what is happening there. There's data. If you want any player that is playing the league, there's a database of the club, the database of the player. Get a license of the NLO license now. Use your back scanner, scan it. It takes you direct to the website of NLO.
2023 Nationwide League One opening style match will kick off in the 2023 league season, which will be played at Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano, on 3rd May 2023 by 3 p.m. Kwankwasia SC will tackle arch rivals Kano Pillar Junior in the star match will kick off hostilities in Nigeria's third-tier league. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
All right, thank you, Adeni Ajishafe. Now, before we go, let's take a look at Akika. Old buses are often referred to as chicken buses in Zimbabwe, thanks to overuse and poor maintenance. Many are in terrible shape and have become an eyesore on the road. Thanks to a startup art group, some are an eyesore no more. Thanks to the visibility of the project, it has also served as a chance for many businesses to adopt murals to beautify their premises. Instead of walls being just plain white or black, looking drab and uninteresting, businesses can use paintings to colorfully depict their products with art. Take a look.
I mean, the buzz on is on the fact that it has been remodeled with the different Zimbabwean authentic stories. So it's a moving, authentic Zimbabwean story. Yeah. So that said on its own, it's a feature along the lines which for me I feel like as far as domestic tourism is concerned,
you know, it'll be amazing. Just imagine people just coming through and say like, let's get into this bus, let's travel all the way to maybe closer to Womblombo Shower.
Yeah, so we started in 2017, but the idea was birthed in 2016 when we were still at university. We stayed together, we were in the same class, and we did art together. So us graduating in 2016, we just said to ourselves, guys, what can we do? Because the idea of employment was not much on our minds. The immediate thing was to combine our skills. His skill in advertising, my skill in painting, and before we even did the registration and coming up with the ideas, we traveled to SA, and that's where my dad stays, and he showed us what art can do and how art can bring money, especially in a very commercial sense.
The idea was like, let's do a series of work that people can see so that people can appreciate. It's one thing to sell something on a graphic point of view, it's another thing to sell something on a physical point of view of this is our skill set, this is what we have done. We're able to do a project, it's called Girl Power ZW, under the hashtag Ganzwadzi Umnawami, where we did, how many murals by the way?
28 across the country.
28 murals across the country in Harare, Bulawayo, and Chita. And it was, to date, it's still one of the most also iconic because every work that we similarly do, it has got a certain way of teaching us. There's new lessons altogether. Part of our work, also what it does is it educates and it engages with communities. What's the message that, having done the work, what's the response or what's the feedback that you get from the communities? Are they for that? What really, you know, it's all of those conversations that when you're having with people within communities that people will make you, others are in awe, others, you know, they're similarly, it's a new phenomenon that they're seeing for the first time, especially in other rural spaces.
Quite an interesting way to engage creativity, isn't it? Well, that's our news for tonight. In case you've missed, you can always catch up across all social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.